Welcome to episode 10 of the drop. So all of these drop episodes are 100% like freestyle. Like 100% of these episodes is 100% right off the top of my head. I think of like it's kind of like if I get an urge to speak, then I do, and I just turn on the camera and I do it. But that's the thing, like I just turn on the camera and I do it. And this has been so fun. Like every single time, I love it. I've never ever talked in front of a camera before or done anything of that sort. But now that I've started, like I don't see myself stopping in a very long time. And this is definitely gonna be going. And I think today's episode, I was just inspired, and I think it's gonna be something special. And I was inspired by a few things. One, I mean, just like the ongoings of the world. Now, I'm not a political guy, so I don't get angry about politics or get into politics. It's kind of like, I explained earlier, like, the way I sort of try and view everything is as if I am an open lens of a camera. And I just receive light because I'm trying to paint the most detailed picture of the world that there is possible. So I'm just trying to receive as much light from the world as I can, you know. And then I sort of piece all the information I'm getting together. I guess I don't know how cameras work, but I imagine it goes through like a process of like receiving the data, analyzing it, turning it into like numbers or whatever, or adjusting it. That's kind of how I do it. Like I just receive the light or the picture, and then I format it, I guess, in a sense. I format it. I keep all the information somewhere, but what I feel like is important and makes sense stays, and that's what sort of you see, I guess. But the picture always has room to be edited, you know? And that's just because I listen so much, where I find myself like I find all the areas at which I have holes in what I believe, you know. But I feel like that makes me even stronger, because a lot of people, they just sort of grab something and then run with it, no matter how true it is or not. Me, I listen as much as I possibly can, and I keep trying to readjust my picture and edit it and make sure it's 100% like, you know, accurate. It actually allows me to have stronger opinions, whereas most people argue like, oh, well, how do you believe in anything? You know, because you have to believe in something. You can't just not believe in something. Well, I do believe in something. Based off of the information, I just admit that there could be places where I have information missing that I still need to add to my like database, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, oh shoot, see, I digress so much, but at this point, you should know, you know. That's just how I am. I get off on tangents, and then I get off on more tangents, because I'm a very thoughtful guy. Like, I'm very, like, philosophical, I guess. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a philosopher, because, like, there's a certain mind of a philosopher, you know? Like, they're very just intelligent and very intellectual about the way they just pick apart the world and ask questions. Me, I try, you know? I try, and I feel like that's all you can ask for, especially from a guy like me. You know, I'm not the smartest, I'm just mediocre. I feel like I'm just most average in everything. But the one key that I have that I think puts me ahead of most people is that I have self-discipline. Lucky for me, I got into karate way early. About 6th grade, whenever I was going through the first transition in my life from grade school to middle school. And getting into karate, I mean, I was a soft guy. I quit because this is traditional karate. So, like, he would yell at us, make us do push-ups. So I quit by 7th grade. So I did it for 2 years. My mother forced me to do it the 2nd year. And then 8th grade, I finally quit. I think I actually did it halfway through 8th grade, but I finally quit, or something like that. And then I returned freshman year because I was going through my second big change in my life whenever I was going from middle school to high school. And I figured, because I had just become such an emotional mess by the end of 8th grade, I feel like that's just something like everyone has to go through at some point in their life. Because of that phase where you're insecure about yourself and you're worried about what people think about you. And you know, you have to get over that. But anyway, so yeah, that was like one of the lowest of the lows. Shoot, I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah. So I kind of figured, okay, I'm about to enter high school and I need a change. You know what I mean? And so I said, all right, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do this, because if I can do this, if I can conquer one of the biggest fears of my life right now, I can conquer anything. So I came back, I did it, I kept with it, I disciplined myself, and now I've been doing it throughout my senior year. I'm about to end just because I'm gonna move. But I want to take my practice of like, I want to do boxing. Now that I have completed this, and I'm always going to practice like my katas and my forms, just because like it's a part of me now. You know what I mean? It played such a crucial role in my life of just setting up the mental idea of discipline and setting all that up for me. I mean, that's just, like I said, I mean, I'm so mediocre at everything, but the one superpower, the one thing that kept me throughout this and kept me, I feel like, achieving more than most people who are way more intelligent or way like faster or way more creative than me, is that I can, one, make a promise to myself that I'm going to keep to myself, and then two, my discipline, which I guess plays into keeping the promises that you make. Because my self-discipline has just taken me so far and has helped me accomplish so much. And also my vision, you know what I mean? Because I have an idea of who I am striving to be, and so I know what to go for. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have that mental conversation with myself. Like, I almost have a board in my head, and I think I talked about this before too. Like, I have a mental board in my head where I go to if I need like help, you know, judging my character or whatever, like thinking through an idea. But yeah, I mean, just having that vision, man, like this has been so cool. This is probably one of the best things that I've ever decided to do in my life. But for this 10th episode, I want to do something special. So, or at least talk about something special. So I think I've kept pretty quiet about conversation, which is sort of like the code name for my future project that I want, like the ultimate thing that I want to do, at least. Or at least that I want to be known and remembered for. So conversation is, simply put, it's taking, or it's going to be like a system, and there's going to be a lot of things to it. So it's going to be like some sort of program or system that's going to take kids from lower class culture, flip their mindset from victim to an opportunist and a leader, and push them, you know, to know that, to go past where they are. I want them to be the proof to every single one in the entire world that they can do it, basically. That you can do anything that you want. If you just have these principles or these disciplines, it all starts up here in your head. You know, it's all the mindset for it. But anyway, so today I wanted to get a little crazy, you know? Alright, so like I said, I'm not a political guy, but I used to be, for sure. I used to be 100% for sure. And it's not until I started like practicing, like opening up what's in here, until I started realizing that politics is one of those things that's like, there is no winner. It's just sort of like a dog fight, and both of them, it's like if you put two blind dogs in an arena and tell them to fight each other. You know what I mean? They could be on the same team or something. You know what I mean? It's just, it's stupid. But you know what I mean? That being said, it does have an important role. But anyway, I don't want to digress. I want to stay focused. So I'm going to tell you what like my plan is, what I'm doing, and where it's coming from. Well, I'm going to tell you where it's coming from first off. And I think I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do whenever I do it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to make like empty promises. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to show you rather than tell you. But I figure, like, how am I going to start if I don't start getting the message out? You know what I mean? So the message, the core ideas. And I know that Generation Z especially is ready. You know, because so much of Generation Z, I feel like, just talking with people at work or people that I know that are around my age, or at least my age, there's this shift from being Republican or liberal, or not Republican, conservative or liberal, to libertarian. Which basically means like less government, more power to the individual, you know? And what that means is that it's putting more responsibility on the individual for their choices and their actions. You know what I mean? It's not the government's job to save you if you spent all your money whenever you're 20 years old and now you're X amount of dollars in debt. You know what I mean? It's your job to get yourself out of that hole. So what I want to do is just help build, you know, the stages and the mindset and the leadership in the lower class where that is such a big deal. Especially because if you grow up in the lower class and you learn from lower class, you're going to be lower class because you don't see how higher class is. You know what I mean? So I'm studying right now. I'm studying the mess out of how leaders think and how rich people think and all this so that, one, I can be rich, and two, that I can share this and change this whole idea that one, that the higher class is evil, because they're not, and two, that there's some sort of system that is holding back lower class. Now I say lower class, and a lot of people refer to like the system as against like a race, but it's not. And here's, let's see, how do I put this, or how do I describe this? You know, we try to attach our culture with race. Like, I'm from Missouri, and the area that I'm in is like majority black, I'm pretty sure. All my life I've been surrounded by black people, you know, more than, oh, my light went out again. More than white people, or at least it felt like that. And one of the reasons why I might have felt like that is because no matter what happened, I would hear things like, oh, you're so white, you know what I mean, for doing something like kneeling down and tying my shoe or dancing, you know what I mean, and it sort of like made me revert back a little bit, you know, and there was always like a black way of doing things, like this is how black people eat, this is how, you know, I always heard that growing up, like this is how black people do this, and I didn't realize it then, you know what I mean, I didn't care, but now I'm starting to realize that, you know, we're assigning culture to race. And this is a problem. And the reason why is like, look at it this way. So, sagging came from prison culture, right? And sagging and not being articulate comes from, I mean, being articulate is a higher class thing. And so, thus, you know, you do the math. What is the opposite of articulate? The opposite of upper class, which is lower class, which is also tied with more crime and, you know, prison culture. Because you are in a culture where you do more crime, you're gonna have more people that are in and out of prison. So you know, it's just unfortunate in that way. And then the other side of that is we like 50-something% of the lower class is made up of black people, whenever there is only 20-something% of the U.S. population is black people. Highly disproportionate. And the reason why, you know, by this point it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Whose fault it is, they're long dead. You know what I mean? It might not have even been on purpose. You know what I mean? I would say that the reason has to do with, you know, the fact that, well, I would say there's two sort of parts to it. One, shoot, I'm already at 15 minutes, so I'm going to make this quick. So one, I would say that just the perception of white people onto slaves was that they were dirty rats, and so that's one implication, you know, or not implication, but thing that sort of drove that society in that direction, lower class direction. And then two, just the fact that that once they're free in the North America, it's kind of like, what do they do? You know what I mean? They're not given any direction, and this is what I'm told. You know what I mean? No one, obviously, I wasn't there, so I mean, I don't know, but that's what I'm told, and that's what I believe. It makes sense based on what I see today. But so the problem is we're looking at lower class society and patterns in lower class, and we see a whole lot of black people. We see 50% of black people there, and then we say, okay, we tie that to black culture. We say, okay, black culture is lower class culture. You know what I mean? And this is a problem in two different directions. One, you know, I won't deny like police brutality. I just think that there is a different solution that we're missing. And I think things like Black Power or Black Lives Matter, where you're focusing in on the racial aspect, completely misdirects people in trying to solve the issue. It's the perception that people have on black people as if black people equals lower class culture / prison culture. This is the problem. And the way I would describe this is, you know, I've seen a black person wear sagging pants, and I've also seen a black person wear a suit and a tie. Both of them are black by skin color. They're I guess not black, but brown. Whatever you want to say. I mean, we all know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? In the same thing with a white person or an Asian person. I've seen an Asian person sag, wear baggy clothes, and I've also seen an Asian person in a suit. I've also seen a white person in a suit. You know what I mean? I've seen all people. This is culture. This is not a racial thing. What you wear does not make you a certain race, or what you eat does not make you a certain race, or any way that you talk does not make you a certain race. And this is a problem because if U.S. culture or world culture starts correlating lower class culture with a certain race where there's more crime, we start relating crime with a race. You know what I mean? So this is why cops more so deal with your black dude. This is why more black people get, you know, pulled over or looked at or searched, or, you know what I mean? Or what's the word I'm looking for? Racially profiled. This is why more black people get profiled, because we have correlated prison culture with black culture, but it's completely two different things. You know, your culture is how you dress. It's how you live. It's your lifestyle. But there is no culture that defines you based on your race. Your race is simply, or not even race, but your ethnicity is simply something in your skin or wherever your family was from way back, or you know, for me, I'm an American. I don't care. You know, I have Irish in my blood, but I'm an American. You know, I'm native to the United States, so that's who I am. You know, so that's a problem, and that's from the police angle, or just, you know, culturally, our mental idea, or what they call the system, that we have this perception of lower class equaling black, you know. But then the other side of it is black people own it. You know what I mean? So many black people in my life own this prison culture and get upset that other people are seeing them that way. You just can't do that. So we need to separate this idea that you're black equals prison culture, and more say you are an individual. You decide who you are. You know what I mean? You dress the way you want. You do this, you do that. And at the same time, we're going to be working on the world's perspective, so that, you know, we don't start correlating racial things with cultures. So that's just sort of the, you know what I mean? This is what I'll end off with, because I'm at 20 minutes now, and this is gonna be crazy long. We aren't dealing with systematic racism or a system of any kind. What we're dealing with is perception, and the only way to change perception is for us to stop correlating race with a culture. Alright, so this is so long, but you kind of got, I could talk about this for hours, you know what I mean? But you kind of got a glimpse as to like what my plan is and where I'm going. The first step is to change the perception of the world. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to create this system. I think of it kind of as a school, but we're going to go out and we're going to do projects, and this is going to show, you know what I mean? This is one, I want to revive the individualistic mindset that you aren't a culture. You are you. You are your own culture almost. And I was inspired. I want to tell you about this guy that I actually work with currently. He just inspired me in so many different ways, just because like he is his own individual. He walks to the beat of his own drum. He likes what he likes, and he's not afraid of anything. You know what I mean? It's just so inspiring. But yeah, this has got to be it for this episode. So you got a glimpse of it, and I'm really excited, and I can't wait to get started on it. Hold me accountable, because I'm gonna make this happen. Let me know what you think. If you have any thoughts, I try to be one of the most like open-minded, receptive type of individuals. So I mean, even if you have like a disagreement or anything, like I am definitely willing to have that conversation. You can go to my social media, DM me, or leave a comment, and I don't know, or maybe, I don't know if you can see my email somewhere. Like definitely, you know, I would love the conversation. Yeah, so I mean, I appreciate it. Shoot, it's already getting 22 minutes. Like I said, every single time I do these, I don't want to stop. But yeah, so maybe you'll see more of it. Maybe I'll show a live stream or show some of my notes that I've been working on, because I've been writing sort of like little scripts of like what is leadership and finance, and then of course now changing the perception. Like what can I do and how can I get the image out to show that people are individuals, not cultures. You know what I mean? That we are our own cultures, and that no race is attached to one culture, because we are all individual. You know, I keep saying that, but I'm trying to say it right, or like the best way that I can, so I can get the idea across. But anyway, this is gonna be it for this episode. It's the 10th episode. It's a big deal. Cool, and there are going to be times 10 more. You know, so we got 100 episodes for sure. I'm gonna keep working on this. I will check you next time. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, do whatever that you can do. And I appreciate you. I'll see you on the 11th drop.